Hello everyone. Welcome to this audio podcast. This audio podcast as part of the Ghromulin series, and this audio podcast as part of Photon, as part of the Photon Saga, and this audio podcast as part of a Storm Robotics production. In this audio podcast, a look at really the sort of main some of the main citations or references part of this works as well as part of this sort of works from 2008. Works from Murray and team looking at preconditioning with ischaemia, delay of lethal cell injury in ischemic myocardium. Works published in circulation in the journal Circulation in around 1986. Works by Jennings and team to look at the cell biology of acute myocardial ischemia in a journal Annual Review Medicine in around the early 90s, 1991. Works by works by works by Carbanda and team are looking at transient limb ischemia induces remote ischemia preconditioning in vivo, published in circulation in the journal Circulation in around 2002. Works by Luca Georgakis and team in around works looking at remote ischemic preconditioning provides early and late protection against endothelial ischaemic-reperfusion injury in humans. The role of the autonomic nervous system, and published in the journal American the Journal of American College of, I think, sorry, the Journal of the Journal of AM Col and Cardiol in around 2005. Works by Gross looking at remote preconditioning and delayed cardioprotection in skeletal muscle published in the American Journal of Physiology Regulatory Regulatory Integrative Comp Physiol, and in around 2005. And works by Ferdinandi and team looking at interaction of cardiovascular risk factors with myocardial ischemia-reperfusion injury, preconditioning and post-conditioning, published in Pharmacology Reviews in around 2007. And works by Hazeloy and team from Hazeloy and team looking at the effect of remote ischemic preconditioning on myocardial injury in patients undergoing coronary artery bypass graft surgery, a randomized control trial, and published again published in the Lancet in around 2007. And sort of finally sort of works that were published by published sort of published by published by Schultz and team and looking at the role of endogenous opioids in ischemic preconditioning, but not in short term, not in short term hibernation in pigs in pigs, where Schultz and team look at the role of endogenous opioids in ischemic preconditioning in amongst the pig species, and published in the American Journal of Physiology Heart Circulation American Journal of Physiology Heart Circulation in around 2001. Finally, as part of this audio podcast, to inform listeners, viewers, there is and has been more advances in around looking at ischemic preconditioning, ischemic post-conditioning, and tissue injury, around tissue injury, and there are more recent publications more recent publications that can be identified through online databases. Terminology such as ischaemia preconditioning, post-conditioning, tissue injury, for example, are terminologies that can be utilized to identify literature. So that draws this audio podcast to a close. This audio podcast, as part of the Ghromulin series, this audio podcast as part of a Photon Saga, and this audio podcast as part of a Storm Robotics production.